In Revelation, it talks about a group of people that's going to be saved, because it said those who got eyes to see and ears to hear. You know why the Bible pointed that out? Because the Bible was saying you need to use your senses. You know what they call your senses? God-given senses. Smell, touch, sight. God gave you all that to interact with the world, with the creation. God gave you your 5 senses so that you can interact with his creation. And so that you can prove all things within his creation. So that you can validate what's real and fake with your smell, sight, touch. The moment you start ignoring your senses, you're going to start listening to the sciences. You got the sciences and you got the senses. They both feel the same way when you say them on your mouth, but they totally different. You got consensus and then you got senses. Consensus is what the whole world agree on for reality. That's called consensus. The reason common sense ain't common no more is because people don't use their senses to verify what's real in the world. We don't use common sense. We don't use our senses. We use our consensus. And that's what everyone agreed upon in this deceptive world. And that's what NASA represents. NASA represents the reality that everyone agreed upon, but it ain't real. It's consensus, meaning the majority rule, which is why this world will never be a heaven, because every sentient being here is part of a spiritual voting system. Whatever the majority of the humans agree is going to be the truth in this world, that's the truth. That don't mean it's the real truth. It means that if you go against it, the world going to crucify you like Jesus Christ. It's the truth within their matrix paradigm. And anything you say outside of that will get you, when you go outside that box, you face the fate of Christ. What NASA represents is the fake reality that everyone agree with, but it ain't real. It's all an agreed upon reality based upon theories and consensus, and all of us agreeing with the majority ruling. And that's why the evil powers rule this world. It's through consent. It's through consensus, which is consent. They sound the same for a reason. Consensus is universal consent. Okay? Now, if the Bible say be in the world and not of it, and it tells you to prove all things, then you can't go with the consensus. You got to go with your senses. Your senses are your senseis. These were our original teachers. That's how our ancestors knew the earth was flat, because they learned from the senseis, the senses. They didn't learn from consensus. Because the consensus is when they're conning your senses, meaning a person that cons you out of something, or a con artist. When they put con in front of senses, that means you don't use your senses. You forfeit them for the consensus. People that use consensus, they don't know nothing, but they believe everything. And they will fight you for their belief, man. Listen, these people killed Jesus because Jesus was teaching them something different than what everybody agreed upon in the world.